Hello friends. This morning we have just a gentle leg stretch. So starting in bound angle pose, toes of the feet together. So this is just a great stretch if we've had an intense workout the previous day or the previous few hours, like a post-workout kind of stretch. Maybe a pre-cardio warm-up. Or if we're just a little sore, just want to give them a little extra love. I love bound angle. Reaching the fingertips forward, just getting a little bit more of a hip opener in here. Before coming back up, taking fire log pose. You know me and my love for fire log pose. So the right ankle on top of the left knee, steepling the fingers. Maybe my coffee will help me sometime soon. And just finding a gentle rock side to side, opening up through the right hip. You can feel that in the outer glute area. Gently coming back up, switching sides. Sending love to that left outer hip. Oof. Checking in with them, seeing how they're doing today. How are you, hips? Maybe finding a little twist here. Rising back up. Can't forget about the inner hips. Pigeon. I think I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe resting on a block, up on a block if this is our first movement of the day. I'd like to get a little dynamic with pigeon this morning. Not holding these super long. You can definitely pause this video, but I won't be holding them super long. Just kind of moving through a few different poses, warming up the legs. So turning those left toes up, coming onto the right heel for side lunge, skandasana. Just still opening up through that hip, kind of raising the hips and coming back down. Dynamic movements here, opening up that joint. And we're gonna switch to the other side, doing it in a little bit of a reverse action. Noticing how it feels different doing this in the reverse when we're already open with pigeon, coming here versus doing this one first. I always find that I like it, but it's a little awkward, I feel, in my body. And turning onto the foot for pigeon. Like, I love doing things in reverse and making my flows circular and move around the mat, but sometimes it just feels so odd to be so thoroughly warmed up on one side and then try to do the same motions when you're not warmed up, which is a good, now that I think about it, that's a good way to check in with yourself. You know, how are you feeling before and after? Obviously our sides are kind of different, but gently coming out of that one. We're gonna stand up for a second. Maybe take another sip of our coffee first. We're gonna stand up for a second. Might get cut off. It's okay. Just gonna take a little quad stretch. So reaching back, pulling that ankle into the butt, reaching the elbows back together, really trying to send that the hips forward, so you're really feeling it on the whole quadricep. We're trying to send the knee back and the hips forward. Micro bend in the right knee. Deep breaths. And gently releasing, taking it on top of that right leg, coming into half chair. We can always stabilize ourselves with a chair here, or fingertips on the mat. But if we have our balance, sinking into that hip, feeling it through the outer glutes here again. And forward fold, releasing that left leg, folding over the legs, finding a little bend in them. Little twist. And rolling back up. Taking the right ankle into low, into the bone. Same action here. Think of pushing the hips forward, pulling that knee back. We have a nice open chest. This is a very active posture. We're not just pulling simply on the heel. We're very lifted and open, balancing through our left foot. We're grounding as well. Look at us go. And exhale to take that right ankle over the left leg, sinking into the hip. Keeping your chest nice and lifted. Flexing, extending, bending the knee, playing with the angle of our hips, finding what feels good to you today. And exhale to gently release, feet hip width apart. Inhale for chair pose. Arms above the head, toes lifted. Exhale, hands come through heart center before we forward fold. For our final pose, turning the toes out, coming into Malasana. Another hip opener. It's the theme for today, I guess. Nice and deep, bringing the pelvis down to the mat. And ending here. In staff pose, nice and tall, flat spine. Now that we've warmed up the legs, we can go about our day and keep mindfully moving. And I will see you tomorrow.